Alright guys, thanks for coming back. I know I haven't uploaded in a long time, and that is due just to me being kind of a football athlete. I am a kicker at my high school. Our season's over now, but I do have some scholarships, and I'm looking to play in college, so I've spent a lot of time doing that, and now that school's back, I just haven't had as much time. Now with that being over, I'm going to be looking to do more videos. Starting with this is going to be a regular thing. It's my American Soccer Weekly, and I brought on Will, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright guys, thanks for coming back. I have Will here. I'm going to go ahead and start with the first of 5 segments. We are going to be doing Champions League players, their performances. Then I'm going to let Will cover the Europa League players and their league performances if they played another game. Then I'm going to explain where everyone can finish in the Champions League or European League. Then we are going to do just the rest of the players who weren't playing in those leagues, and then we're going to give a player of the week. So to start, I have Christian Pulisic, who came back, played for Chelsea in a 4-0 win against Juventus. He played 72 minutes, and then he also played against Man United in the last 12 minutes. In that Juventus game, he played as a false 9 role, so he wasn't really directly involved in a lot of the action, but he was able to make space for the guys on the outside, and obviously it helped because while he was in there, they scored 3 goals. And then against Manchester United, he came on in those last 12 minutes, which tied 1-1, which he did almost have a very, very late assist. In the 97th minute, he crossed the ball into Rudiger on the back post, and he just put it over the bar. It would have been a great goal, help us get over Manchester United and keep at least 4 points on top of the Premier League, but we are doing fine now. We're on the top of the Champions League and Premier League. Next, on the other side of that Juventus and Chelsea game, we have Weston Mckinney. Weston Mckinney played all 90 minutes for Juventus in kind of a right mid role. Obviously, they lost 4-0, so Juventus didn't do that great. But I do think Weston Mckinney was probably their best player in that game, and just by the way he played, almost scored. He probably had a better game than Christian Pulisic, even though Pulisic was a part of that 4-0 win. Then he also played a match against Atalanta. Now in this game, he was playing pretty good up until he went off with an apparent knee injury. It looked very brutal at first. Now we've seen the tests have come out, no serious ligament damage, and the coach kind of said after the holidays he'll be reevaluating Mckennie. So I do believe he'll be hopefully at full speed whenever USMNT is back in World Cup qualifying in the January camp. Next, moving on to the next big player, we had Jordan Peafock, who played in the striker position for Young Boys in their 3-3 draw against Atalanta. He played all 90 minutes, and he also scored a goal. He keeps working his Champions League magic. He's already had 5 goals in the Champions League this year. If you include the not World Cup qualifying, but Champions League qualifying, he did have to win them around 3 rounds just to get there. In the first group stage, they played Manchester United, where he came in, and he actually scored a very late equalizer in injury time of the 90th minute, where he upset Manchester United 2-1, got that goal. He's been very solid for Young Boys and their Champions League performance. Then I have a couple of players who aren't stars, but I did just want to mention as they did play a little bit in the Champions League this week, and that would be Brendan Aronson for RB Salzburg and Timothy Weah for Lille. Now they played each other. Timothy Weah came up top in a 1-0 victory. Then we have John Brooks, who played 88 minutes for Wolfsburg. Now they did lose 2-0 to Sevilla, but again, it's good that we're getting these USMNT guys to play in the Champions League. And lastly, we had Dest. This was his comeback game. He only played 4 minutes, but obviously it's good to see him back after he missed all of the November camp with the U.S. I'll go ahead and let Will cover the European talents.
Yes, okay, so starting off with Mark Mckenzie for Genk. It was a 1-1 draw. He got his assist in the 90th minute just to get the draw against Dynamo. A player that hasn't really gotten too much playing time or recognition throughout his years of playing, but is someone that has shown recently that he can really be a pedestal in the defense or even sometimes in the midfield, because we've seen him play almost everywhere in the back line and somewhat in the defensive role in the midfield as well. And I do believe hopefully in the next couple of years with his continuation and playing time at Genk, he could get a bigger move in a European team, possibly to the Prem or some other team. And then also I'm going to be covering De La Fuente. He is a former Barcelona man, actually. He is playing for Marseille. He was able to come on. He got his assist, though, again, along with Mckenzie getting an assist. A 2-4 loss, though. But he also did grab himself a dub against Troyes as well in his league match. This man, I will just run off the dome. He is someone that has shown that he has the potential but hasn't really gotten that playing time. Same like Mckenzie. He does have that potential to be very, very well a good rotational player for Marseille right now. And I believe, again, hopefully if they just get that playing time, they can hopefully solidify themselves as a quality player in that men's team for USA. Problem is that the men's team does have very good wingers or just attackers when it comes to our youth right now. So it's going to be a little tougher on him. But I believe that especially with these last performances that he has gone through coming off the bench, he's done very well. And then finally, I have Deandre Yedlin, who does play for Galatasaray. He got that 4-2 win over Marseille. 2 goals against Galatasaray, probably not the best defensive play, but also against a decent team in Marseille. Very good squad, especially with Milik up top. They are a very, very good attacking team, I will say. But Yedlin just shows that he is a good veteran and just very experienced player in that fullback position, who we do have good qualities such as Anthony Robinson and Dest. But you could see that in our team, we do bring on Yedlin quite a bit. He's a speedster, and that's what we like along the wings. He's good at crossing the ball and just playing as just a rotational player that we need, and that we need that depth around the men's team, especially with the injuries that we have proclaimed, especially like Dest.
And then to wrap up, some European guys who didn't star, but we did have Sam Vines for Antwerp, who drew 2-2 against Timothy Chandler in Frankfurt. Timothy Chandler, he did get an assist in that game. It's just I don't really see him playing with the USMNT anymore in his career. He's an older guy, I believe, maybe 31, 32. Now that we have younger guys who can play his position just fine. Not much of a spotlight, but he did play against Sam Vines. Then, moving on, we're going to go ahead and say who's in, who's out of these European competitions. I'm going to go ahead and let Will tell y'all who's already clinched a knockout berth.
All right. So starting off with the Champions League, we have Man City top of their group stage right now with PSG in second. Zach Steffen is a part of that club. Even though he doesn't really play that much, he is a player that we Americans know that he has that quality to fill in to play against any team he can. We also have Barcelona. They're not fully in, but I do believe that Serginho Dest, especially with seeing him coming back, even just short amount of time, it is really nice to see him. He can hopefully bag himself another assist that he normally likes to get and just bring Barcelona back up into where they belong. And then you have Lille with Timothy Weah. They are on top of their group stage, but it's a very tough group stage. From fourth, it is 3 points from one, so it's very, very close. And with the quality that Weah brings, I do believe that they will continue and surpass Salzburg, Sevilla, and Wolfsburg in that. And then finally, with Group H, we have Chelsea and Juventus, with Polisik and Mckennie arguably our best players. Both on 12 points. Either one could fit in for the number one spot, but they are guaranteed into the rest of the Champions League fixtures. Now for Europa League, we have Frankfurt, who is number one in their group stage. They are only above Olympiacos by 2 points, but I do believe that they will continue with another win or even a draw and will surpass them and be top of Group D. And then in Group E, we have Galatasaray. This team right now is 3 points above Lazio, so they are guaranteed, especially with 7 points above Marseille, they are guaranteed into Champions League. And it's a good sight, especially for a team in the league you don't normally see do this well in Champions League.
All right, and then moving on to who's completely out and how teams could still make it. Tyler Adams and RB Leipzig are out of the Champions League, but could still get the third spot going in and dropping into the European knockout stage if they do just as good or better as Club Brugge's result. And then we also have Reina, although he hasn't been playing. Dortmund are going to most likely end up in that third place and then also drop to the European knockout stages. So that's it for who's completely out of knockout stages in Champions League. Going over to Europa League, both these players I believe could still drop down now that we have the Conference League and go into their knockout stages, which are Sam Vines and Conrad de la Fuente. After Yedlin beat Conrad de la Fuente, they now don't have a chance. Then people who could still get in, we have Des. Barcelona sits 2 points above Benfica, and as long as they get some kind of result, they will go into the knockout stages. Then we have a long shot for Jordan Peafock, as he's in a group. We'll have to play Manchester United, would hope to win against Manchester United, and then also somehow make up 7 points, and hoping that Villarreal loses. That's their only way of moving up into that second place. So big long shot for him. But they could still get that third seed with probably just a win and then drop into the European knockout stages. Also, in the group of death between Weah, Lille, Aronson, RB Salzburg, and John Brooks, representing Wolfsburg, Weah leads that group in first at 7 points. Brendan Aronson is at 6 points with his team in second place, and Brooks is only in fourth. With 5 points, so although there's only a 3-point difference from top to the bottom, all teams in that group could still finish first, all teams in that group could still finish last. So it'll be a big match day coming into this last week, with both Champions League and Europa League just having one game left. Any of those teams could go to the top two, qualify. Any of that team could take the third spot and then go into the Europa League. Then next, Mark Mckenzie, after he led his team to a match of the man performance and drawing, getting 1 point against Dynamo, he has left his team with a chance. They will need Dynamo to lose to West Ham, and then they will also have to beat the bottom of the group team in order to get into the European knockouts, which I think is very likely. Alright, now moving on to just other noticeable performances of people who aren't in the European leagues. We have, starting it off for me, I have Gerald DK, 21-year-old for Orlando City. Played all 90 minutes in his MLS playoff game against Nashville. They lost that game 1-3. However, he got the first goal of that game with a Gerald DK-esque goal. He gets up in the air, gets a header. We know this man is very big, likes to play and use his body, physical player. Get that header, very much like him. He will now be out of the MLS playoffs, but this could also be a good thing, as with the transfer window opening up, he got 11 goals from 19 games this season. He should be able to look to make a move into a big European league. And then on the other side of that game, we had Walker Zimmerman representing Nashville. So he was a part of that 3-1 win, played very solid defensively, all 90 minutes, moves on. I'll go ahead and get into his next game, as he just played Sunday night against Philadelphia. He played all 120 minutes in that game as it went into a penalty shootout. He played very solid defensively the whole game, does his job. The bad part is once the penalties start, and Nashville missed all 4 players who took a penalty. All 4 missed, including Walker Zimmerman missed his penalty, and Philadelphia will continue their playoff run into the third round after winning 2-0 in penalty kicks. And I'll go ahead and let you take the Fulham boys.
Yes, so I have Anthony Robinson and Tim Ream down for noticeable games and just recent matches they have played very well in. For Anthony Robinson, we all know that he does have that potential to be one of the better fullbacks that the men's team can have in America. But Fulham has shown signs of kind of dropping down just a little bit, not severely though, with them drawing their last 2 against Derby and Preston. With Tim Ream also scoring Fulham's lone goal in their draw against Preston, has really shown his veteran mindset and just leadership that he can bring not only to the international level but domestic level. And I think with Fulham being top of the table in the championship right now, they will show that Anthony Robinson still has it, even though his injuries have kind of been a blockade for his potential. I think right now Anthony Robinson's market value will definitely increase, especially if Fulham get into that prem spot with the championship coming in. And hopefully Tim Ream, he'll probably be around 35, 36 going into the next season. Maybe he'll still have a little gas in his tank to continue for the domestic level and possibly international level.
All right, and then my last player of the noticeable performances, I have Timothy Tillman, 22-year-old. He is a dual national, so he could represent USA or Germany. My spotlight for him is he scored his first Bundesliga goal. He's a center mid. Like I said, he's a dual nat. I think if Berhalter gave him the opportunity to come to play for the USA, he would, as I don't really see him playing in Germany. It's just that we do have pretty good guys in their center mid roles, such as Mckennie, Adams, Reyna, and they have good backups too. I'm not really sure if we need Tillman, but he is a player. Why not add him if we want? I know you're a big Arsenal fan. Let me go ahead and let you talk about Balagon.
Yes, so my next and last player is Florian Balagon. Being an Arsenal fan, I love this man to death right now. He is the future for our attack. His last match he has played in his under 23 games lately. He hasn't really made the first team fixtures because I don't really know, to be honest. If I was the manager or if I was in Mikel Arteta's shoes, I would be putting him definitely in the rotation itself. But he ended up getting a hat trick against a 3-5 loss against Derby's under 23 team. Also, they also have an academy that is very, very solid, very talented. But with him being also a dual when it comes to being American and also in the English battle for which team he's going to play for, he definitely has more opportunity in America. But the prestigious background does bring England more up to his mind, especially since last time he played in an American jersey was when he was part of the under 18s. But I believe, especially with Arteta not really jumping the gun on him, he may get a move probably to the championship or maybe even loan into America, which would be very, very cool to me. But I do see him being the next big thing in whichever country it is.
And you did speak on, I want to speak on Balogun a little bit as that dual nat battle between England and USA. He has represented England's U21 and as recently as September. I really think he could come on to USA. We have a World Cup 2022 spot for him, I think, if he were to come into the next camp, which, you know, as a player, that has to be huge for him. Like Will said, he was a part of our U18 system, so he's been open to us before. If he wants to play in England, he's going to be sitting behind the likes of Harry Kane, Abraham, Rashford, and probably 10 other guys, whereas if you join USA, he could be competing for that starting role as soon as January. So Berhalter, please call this man, and Balogun, just give us a shot.
Okay.
Will, let's go ahead and get into the players of the week. I'm going to go ahead and start. My player of the week, I'm going to go ahead and give to Mckenzie just because of his man-of-the-match performance in the Europa League. He gets Genk a 1-1 draw against Dynamo, which is huge. They needed that point to be able to proceed into the knockout rounds. He gets the man-of-the-match, gets an assist. He now has set himself up and his team up for what I think is a chance and a very good chance to get into that knockout round, because I do believe West Ham will beat Dynamo. They need to beat bottom of the table. I believe it's like River or something. It's a no-name. They're going to beat them. West Ham will beat Dynamo, and I think Mckenzie gets Genk round 2, maybe even 3 into that Europa League playoffs.
It'll definitely be very, very interesting to see that, especially a team like Genk you don't normally see go that high up. But it'd be really, really cool to see Mckenzie be involved, especially as a bigger role with him playing so well lately. So for my player of the week, I'm going to be, again, very, very biased. I'm going to choose Florian Balagon. Although it was an under-23 game, he did get a hat trick. No matter what, it's a professional game. It is a hat trick, and it is what it is. But this man, again, he is the future attack for whichever country he does choose. But he does definitely have more opportunity, especially with his flexibility of playing as a winger as well. I've seen him over the documentaries I've seen about Arsenal and their academy. When he first started, he was a left winger, but now he has kind of gone in centrally since he's gotten better with his weak foot, with his left foot. But I do definitely see him more as the American talent rather than the English talent, not just because of opportunity, but just his play. He does like the press. He likes to get into the bodies. England's more pressed back and likes to keep possession. He likes to go and score, and that's what I think America needs at the most, and that's what he's bringing right now to Arsenal. And along with that, with Arsenal not giving him his first team quality rather than his under-23 team, I could see him sadly making a move or maybe even a loan outside to either the championship, lower prem, or even into America, which would be very, very cool. And I think that will bring more fans the possibility and hope that he could be representing America rather than England.
All right, I want to thank Will for joining me. I appreciate everyone for coming back to the channel after a long stunt of me not uploading. Me and Will are definitely going to try to make this at least a weekly, maybe bi-weekly thing, and then I'll be trying to put out other uploads now that I have more time to do so with my football season being over. And so, maybe help me get back into the algorithm, subscribe, like, comment. Y'all been on YouTube long enough, you know what to do. I appreciate y'all. Until next time.